are here with Downtrend. Introduce yourselves. We got Jeremy, bass player. We got Josh, the guitar player, and backing vocals sometimes. And JD, the drummer. All right.
Howdy.
First question is going to go to Josh. So Downtrend's been together over 10 years now. Did you think the band still be going 10 years down the road when you started?
Never actually thought about that. You know, it was we were in it for the moment. I mean, we did see a little bit of a long-term future with it. You know, we really prepared. Before we even played our first gig, we had a full album's worth of material written. I don't think there's a lot of bands can claim that. So, you know, I think we kind of did see it going for a lot of years, but without actually thinking about it.
Gerbo, you were also there day one. What did you think when you first started the band?
Like Josh was saying, we really didn't look to the future, but we did have a full album. I mean, it took us a long time before we played a show, and then it took us a while to get going off the ground. But, you know, you talking about, did I think we'd be here today? No.
We kind of wanted to let the garden grow before we started eating. That makes sense. You know, we wanted to be able to go out and play a show and not be left for material before we ever stepped out. And I don't think there's a lot of 22, 23-year-old kids that look that far ahead. But so I guess looking back, we did have more of a long-term plan than I think we did have more of a long-term plan than we realized.
So Jeremy, your home base is here in Pikeville, Kentucky. It's not really known for rock or metal. You know, mostly country, bluegrass stuff. Do you think that has posed a problem in your growth as a band?
Not really. I mean, locally it has. We don't have a lot of local things we do, but we've never played locally in any band I've ever been involved with. You know, we never play locally. It's always pack up and go play where our style of music's really welcome.
Do you think it'd be different if you had a lot more local support? Do you think it would change anything?
Not with today's music scene, no.
See, I kind of disagree with that. I do, because I wish we had a place locally where we could play and really grow maybe we could grow our own local fan base a little better than we have. We have a good local fan base considering we never play here.
I agree with that.
We never play home. I mean, we play, one time a year, there's a local festival called Hillbilly Days that we play. Other than that, we really never play at home. So I think if we did have a place locally, it could grow more organically. But at the same time, like Jeremy said, we've kind of overcame that. So we kind of went outside the boundary. You know, there's not a lot of bands that have to travel the way we do.
For a band living in a rural area that doesn't really have a good music scene?
Well, for one, there's less competition. That's more of a joke. I tell you, the one thing about that is the fan base that we do have, and you do build in an area like that, tends to be very loyal. Because it's more of a grassroots. They have to get up and close to know you. And there might not be as many followers, but the ones you've got are usually lifetime followers.
Yeah. And that's true. You know, really, if there's no competition, you know, if there's a rock show every night, somebody may skip one.
And there is truth to that, yes.
But, you know, if there's just one every once in a while, they're going to go to it.
Big fish, small pond.
That's true. I mean, there is a lot of truth.
And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
you know?
right.
Gerbo, next question's for you. Have you ever done anything in your music to try to appeal to a more country audience that you're surrounded by or anything like that?
No, not really. I played in cover bands and stuff, but...
Right.
We were introduced as a country band one time. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
We played Battle of the Bands that Marlo Tackett put on at Thunder Ridge, and they said the next band is a country band called the Downtrend Band. And we started, and we had a singer at the time that was completely screamo. And this guy I know was in the stands. He said, just over to me, he said, if that's country, I'll kiss your ass. That was the closest I think any of us probably ever came to country.
All that being said, though, like the video you made earlier, we do incorporate our country heritage, though, into metal music. That's a big thing, though. So now, other than that, no. I mean,
more of a southern rock heritage.
Right, well, you know. Yeah.
Some of the newer stuff has harmonica parts in it. Do you think that's drawn a different crowd than normal metal fans?
I think so.
I do, too.
I think it distinguishes us a little bit. I don't think you hear that very often.
I think it definitely puts you in a different setting to where you're not really pigeonholed to one specific sound.
That's what we didn't want to be.
I'm definitely on a bill with like other metal bands. We definitely stand out with that.
Yeah. I think it helps you fit in on several different, you know, you could open for several different bands. You know, you could a real heavy band or maybe just a light rock band.
Or
you know,
Blackfoot.
Really
Blackfoot,
fit in there.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know, that's kind of what we wanted, but at the same time, that ain't what we shot for. It was kind of more of a natural.
It just happened.
Because we all.
That's who we are, man.
You know, we all love Leonard Skinner. We all love Blackfoot. We love those bands.
Southern Country
And
Boys.
when
man.
we heard Mike play his harmonica one day, just out of happenstance, it was like, oh, we got to use that.
That's
I mean,
magic.
it's like this guy can play the harmonica. Why not utilize that? And it's our heritage. It's,
Right.
it's music we listen to anyway. It was as influential on all of us, I think, as anything else was. So.
Absolutely.
All right, Josh. Next question is for you. What has kept the band going when most other bands have probably given up by now?
Me. Just kidding. It's actually
No,
a joke.
you're
But, listen, I'm the only member that's been there the whole time. That's why I say that. These two guys had a band together somewhere else. But no, in all honesty, I guess having a fan base, a loyal fan base who did stick with us. Because there's been times that even I've thought about quitting it. And right when you think no one cares, something happens to prove you different. And you realize people do care, and I think we all just love playing.
Those loyal people, they do come out of the woodwork for you. They do.
And sometimes, changes you think you didn't want to happen, once they happen, you realize how it re-energizes
Yeah,
the
glad
band.
you did.
I've got band members that had been in Downtrend before who I love to death. But at the same time, when a little bit of a switchover happened, it was the right thing at that time. Jeremy left the band one time about 8 years ago. It was the right thing at that time. Jeremy rejoined the band a couple years ago. It was the right thing at that time. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just the way nature plays out sometimes.
I think the chemistry with the lineup right now is probably the best that it's ever been.
I agree.
I've had every bit of your music since day one, and really the chemistry I think is the best on this lineup.
I agree. I think we all agree with
Yes,
that. Actually,
yeah,
we
absolutely.
discussed that, and me and Mike was on the phone earlier. He couldn't be here today, but me and him actually said the same thing today. So
Yes.
So Gerbo, you just released Southern Fried Hell Ride live. That was recorded in West Virginia. How was the whole process of recording live?
Actually, to be honest, we went there. I wasn't expecting. We was told they was going to record live, and I wasn't expecting much.
Right.
Just done a normal performance, and I wasn't expecting anything out of it. And then when I heard the tapes back, I was amazed.
Jaw dropping time.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of played like any other show, didn't do anything special, or
Nope.
we didn't hold back on stage performance like some people do. Or
No.
it was nothing. We honestly expected to get a little demo that we could listen back to, but it was our payment for the night. But it wasn't too far of a travel, so we wasn't concerned about it. And like I said, when we actually heard it, it was
I had
like
to miss my daughter's birthday party for that, but hey, you know what? I'm glad I did now. I hate to say it, but we got a killer album.
we
out of
got
it.
a live album out of it.
Joey
and,
Ferris works some magic, man. Got to give him some credit too.
yeah. I'll admit that I normally don't like live albums. I'm more like a quality music type person, and the quality on this is great. I mean, except
Thank you.
for Mike talking a little bit during the set. If it just went from song to song, you'd never even know it was live.
I agree.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, we did. The only thing I wish would have been different with the live album is the crowd wasn't mic'd. There was a decent little crowd there.
There was, right.
But the crowd wasn't mic'd. So when we heard the playback, and he would be like, "Let me hear you." All right,
there
you
was
guys
a
are
crowd
awesome.
there, but
So
yeah.
because there wasn't a mic in the crowd, so we did have to kind of edit out. The only editing that was done on the whole live album is there was 3 songs that the recorder cut off, kind of like BJ's recorder did a minute ago during this interview, and. But there was 3 songs the recorder cut off. We had to scrap those, of course. And the between song banter, we had to cut that out. As far as most of the banter, the band was playing anyway, so it kind of still works out. But if there was one where the band wasn't playing, we had to cut that out because it just sounded odd. If he's addressing the crowd and nothing's coming back.
I think everybody can agree the quality of it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The guy that done it definitely needs praise for it. All right, next question's for you, JD. Are you currently writing material for a new release?
We've been in the process of writing. We've got a couple we're kicking around right now that we really like. As a matter of fact, as we was talking about just a little bit ago, prior to the interview, we're going to change practice locations so our lead singer can be involved more to every practice that we have, which is crucial to writing new material. But yeah, we do have some, and we plan on writing plenty more where that came from.
So when you expect it to be done? Is it Chinese democracy type deal?
Well, hopefully not. But I don't know on that.
Are you setting a goal?
Well, you can't set a goal on something like that.
No.
If you do, you're going to just put yourself in a spot.
Yeah.
But like kind of what JD's saying is, before we were kind of writing songs, and then once they were ready musically, we'd take them to Mike. He'd put his lyrics on them. But we're going to try and start rehearsing a little
Hands
closer
on
where he
as you
lives,
go.
so that he can
Yeah.
be involved more in the process of writing the songs,
Right.
also, as opposed to just doing his vocals. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, so this question's kind of for everybody. In all your time spent with Downtrend, what's been your greatest memory? It can either be on stage, it can be in recording. We'll start with Jerbo.
My favorite thing was last year when they wasn't going to let us play the show in Pikeville. You know, like we was talking earlier, you think nobody really cares anymore. You know, we've been around 10 years. People don't. There's times you're like, why am I still doing this?
The old hat.
So for people that don't know what happened, give them a little background on the whole story.
They basically wasn't going to let us play because we were metal.
Again, living in the country area.
Yeah, it's a rural area, and it's mostly country and bluegrass bands, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 rock bands. But Downtrend was definitely the heaviest probably band there.
Yeah.
And they finally, because of fan support, gave in at the last minute. And
It was
allowed
tremendous
them to
support.
It just felt good to
Actually,
know that people still cared enough to actually aggravate someone enough till they let us.
Till they let it go.
To the point to where city officials called me and said, "Make it stop."
They did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Literally those words.
play. I
And
can definitely see that.
I was
would be
proud of that.
Great memory.
Yeah.
Josh, yours?
For me, gosh, there's so many. But if I had to say, I think it's just all the people I've met along the way. Be it other musicians, bands we've played with and gotten to know. Being a part of the scene. Where we do have to travel a lot to do shows. We don't have so much of a local scene here. We're getting a little bit more of one now, but we play a lot in Louisville. We play a lot in West Virginia and Huntington and Charleston, and getting to know different bands in each area and seeing them on repeated basis. And then the promoters, and then the fans come out to those shows, and then the bands you open for, if somebody's passing through the area. I think my favorite thing, looking back, getting signed and getting to know people at the record label, is just the people I've met. And I don't necessarily mean famous people, just good people who I dig. Friends who I've
Quality
made.
people, yeah.
I probably never would have known JD if not for that. Now, me and Jeremy grew up together. But, just good quality people that I've gotten to know and meet and hang out with. And I think, to me, that's kind of the best part of it.
JD?
Yeah, there's been several, and Jeremy's answer was one of mine, but I'd also have to include the first time I jammed with Josh and the boys ran live. I think we something for Boba Flex in Huntington, and I looked out in the crowd, and there was a big crowd, and everybody in the place was singing the lyrics to the originals we were playing, and it was just a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Now, I do have one last question. You do have a new album out. Why should people buy it?
It's good. It's just good.
It's
It's
a
a rock and
raw,
roll.
unbridled, straight up rock and roll, man. I don't know, it's the real deal.
We're proud of it.
Yes.
I think, I can't speak for what these guys have done before Downtrend, but I think speaking for Downtrend, it's the first time I've felt like it's captured who we are. We've put out CDs before that I'm proud of, proud to be a part of them, but I never thought they were as good as we were. Like, I never felt like it really captured who we are. I think that does.
It does.
I think you hear little nuances. You can hear Jeremy's little bass licks that he does that maybe at rehearsal I don't even hear. Hear them on
True.
there.
That's true. I agree
Little,
with that.
just little parts, little things that shows the flavor that we have when we play live and the energy.
Absolutely.
And where can they buy that?
You can get it online at all major online retailers, Amazon, iTunes,
CD
Rhapsody,
Baby.
CD Baby, whoever you buy from. Or you can get it from our website to get the physical copies. They're only available on our website at downtrend.bigcartel.com. Or if you live in the Kentucky area, you can get them at Mountain Music Exchange or Page 3 Comics.
Also, we're going to be giving a couple copies of it away, and the guys have signed it tonight, so look forward to those as well. Anything to say in ending?
Thank you.
Rock and roll.
Roll the credits.